Hello everybody, I'm Gord George. I'm here today with Alexis to try out her brand new collaboration with Makeup Revolution. I haven't seen any of the products. I'm really looking forward to having a little play. I've got a beautiful model called Maggie. I'm going to do one eye off camera, have a play around, and then come back and show you guys what I've done and how I did it. Right guys, I've just got done playing for the very first time with the Alexis Stone and Makeup Revolution collab, and I am obsessed. Obsessed. I'm a massive fan of colour anyway and anything shiny, but this just is very much a makeup product that I would absolutely love to have in my kit and was kind of missing, so I'm buzzing that I've been able to try it and showcase this gorgeous eye for you guys. I tried to use as many shadows from the collab as possible, and I don't think I could have got any more on. I'm about to show you how I created this look step by step. So to begin the eye, I'm going to make the most of the tackiness of the eye primer that I've already applied. First thing I'm going to do is map out my shape with my almost darkest colour of the eye look, which is the darkest purple from the palette, from the purple row. It's this lovely blue undertone, rich matte purple. This is absolutely amazing, very similar to a purple that I love at the moment, so I'm happy I finally got it in a palette. And then basically tapping and stroking the colour on, bit by bit, mapping out my shape and blending out the edges a tiny little bit to make blending out this colour with the next shade a little bit easier. Sometimes matte shades and bright coloured shades like this can be very intimidating, but the pigment of these are strong but kind of buildable, so they're a little bit less intimidating. You're less likely to make mistakes, like the perfect bright shadows to me. So I'm going to extend this wing out and into the crease and the socket of the eye a little bit. And I kind of love it when the smokiness kind of hugs the bone structure of the eye. I'm now going to dip into the second pink from the top of the palette and use this to halo and soften the edges of the purple we just applied. And I'm using a larger brush to do this. And if you were good at art in school, this palette's absolutely perfect because it's all about colour theory and knowing which colours go together. But also, if you're not aware of colour theory, the layout of the palette makes it really simple to know which shades coordinate nicely with one another. Just going to go back in with my previous brush, whatever's left on the brush, to help melt the pink and the purple together. I'm going to take a small pencil brush and a little bit of the darkest colour in the palette, which is the very dark grey from the stone section of the palette, and work back over that purple shape that we did earlier in a smaller area and just amp up the smokiness a bit. The shade's really deep and really creamy, it's lovely. Take it up into the V of the smokiness a little bit too. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the darkest purple that we used first, again with our first brush. Help merge this dark grey-black into the colour palette we've worked with so far. So I'm going to grab the darkest blue from the palette, which is this gorgeous cobalt navy shade. And we're going to pop this in the centre of the crease. This will join on to the purple that we used first. And grabbing a separate fluffy brush, I'm now taking the light teal shade from that blue row, the very top shade, and using that, just like I did with the pink, to halo and soften the blue in the blend. I always go between the last colour on the brush and the current colour on the brush and go back between the two tools. Again, I'm going to grab a little bit of the dark purple and then exaggerate the point of the shadow a little bit. I'll grab a little bit of that second lightest pink again and just help blow out this outer corner of the eye a little touch more. The pink is still really prominent. So from the Transformation palette, I'm going to take the second colour in from the right, which is a lovely browny purple with a teal reflect to it. And I'm going to place this on the outer part of the exposed lid that doesn't have any shadow on it yet. The pigment is real with these shades, absolutely stunning. So as you can see, it has the purpley tone and the teal bluey tone that the blend has, so this is a perfect pairing with this kind of blend style. And then I'm going to flip to the other side of my brush and I'm going to grab the one third in from the left, which is a lovely pinky coral, and I'm going to pop this on the centre of the lid. and this one you'll see has more of like a bluey shift to it when it hits the light. And when I'm applying these, I'm applying them heavier across the lid, and then when I've got less on my brush, tapping up lightly into the crease. So all of the beautiful scattered shimmer that these shadows have just kind of diffuses into the blend. I'm going to go back to my darkest purple again. And if I've lost any of that vibrancy from the shadow that we applied first, we're just going to bring it back and layer it over the shimmer. I'm going to grab a little bit of the pink, pop this slightly where the smokiness comes into the shimmer on the outer corner, just for a little pink pop. And for the very, very inner corner, I'm going to use the very first shade in the Transformations palette, which is a white pearl that reflects pink. And I'm going to lather this onto the inner corner of the eye. It's going to be our inner corner highlight. And I like to be quite exaggerated, and with my inner corners I like to bring a lot of light to the inner corner of the eye, because it doesn't matter how smoky the eye is, as long as that inner corner is nice and brightened and reflective, it never ever looks kind of too much or closes off the eye, or makes the eye look smaller. So I'm going to highlight the brow bone now with a little bit of the white that reflects greeny gold, which is on the very, very right hand side of the palette. So I'm going to quickly apply a lash and some mascara off camera, and we'll be back to dress the bottom lash line. So I've just quickly applied my favourite warm brown pencil to the waterline and as a base underneath the eye, and I'm just softening the edges of that pencil with that very first purple. We used the darkest purple in the palette with a little pencil brush. Using this purple to connect the bottom eyeshadow to the top on the side outer corner, so you get a perfect elevation of the smoky shape. Now dipping into a little bit of the darkest grey in the palette. I'm going to use a really small eyebrow brush with that dark grey and take it even closer, just on the outer corner. I'm going to grab a little bit of the pink that we used on the top of the eye, which is the second from the top in the pink row, and take that directly underneath. So you get that mirror image of what's going on the top. I'm going to go back into the Transformations palette now. I'm going to take a little bit of the deep metallic purple from that palette. And then going back to that first shade in the Transformation palette, the white that reflects pink, I'm just reapplying that to the inner corner and kind of half laying it over the top of that purple that we've just applied. So now I'm going to apply some mascara to the bottom lashes, and when I come back you guys will see the almost finished look, where I'm going to use some of the white duochrome shades from the Transformation palette as highlighter on the skin. So now that I've completely finished the complexion, I'm going to give it a little bit of an extra touch with the Transformation palette. I'm going to take a little bit of the white pearl that reflects pinky purple. I'm just going to build up this beautiful purple reflect. And this is a complete transformative shade, as in when Maggie turns her head straight forwards, you can't see that there's this lovely pinky shift on the skin. It has no cast, it just has the shine and reflects. So as the eyes are so beautiful and colourful, I'm just going to quickly apply a nude lip off camera, and we'll be back with the finished look. Right, so that's it everybody. I've really thoroughly enjoyed playing with the collection today. I hope you like the look that I've created. I think the idea of having an all matte palette and then basically a palette to accessorize your eye look, I think is so genius, and I'm obsessed with how wet and sheeny the eyes and the skin looks, all thanks to this collab. Really love the products. If you like what I've created and you like the look of Maggie's face, our Instagrams are in the down bar below, and more importantly, all the details on where you can get this amazing collection, all those details are down below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this collection just as much as me.